Finally, after what feels like decades in the making, Vanguard have discovered fire and have started to release their very own mobile app for you to invest and manage your investments with. Vanguard are an extremely reputable broker who many people, including ourselves, have invested with for years. However, a long-standing criticism of them is that they've been behind the times in terms of technology. But that's starting to change with big website improvements, and now after many years of being promised, an app is almost here. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to see if it's been worth the wait. Have Vanguard been crafting an incredible app experience behind the scenes that will blow us away? Or will it be a reminder of their older, outdated website? Remember, there used to be a huge number of Vanguard funds that you could buy elsewhere, but not even on Vanguard's platform, due to them being a bit behind the times. The app itself isn't released just yet. You have to apply for early testing access, and I've linked the application for test access in the description. Shout out to Steven, an amazing subscriber of Damien Talks Money. He received early access and passed footage onto Damien. Then, via a grueling chain of command, the task of dissecting the app and sharing the opinions of subscriber Steven has landed on my desk.
Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice. And how'd you get that, eh? By exploiting the workers.
So, let's get into it. I think one of the main questions people have when discussing a Vanguard investing app is whether or not it'll be easy to use and simplified. As you can see, accessing the app is as easy as looking at your phone. In other words, you can use Face ID to log in. Now, this might not seem like a huge deal, but it is a good sign of things to come in terms of simplicity and efficiency on the app. The app itself is clearly laid out and gives you all the information you'll need on your accounts right in the middle of the screen so you can't miss it. Underneath your portfolio valuation are some metrics showing you your returns both as a figure and as a percentage, which again is simple to understand and an easy way to quickly track your portfolio's progress if you're just logging in to check on the fly. If you want to delve a bit deeper into the account, then you can click through and see some graphs tracking your portfolio's performance, and you have the option to filter this by a few different time periods as well. This level of simplicity could rival the best apps in the space when it comes to user experience, although there are a couple of downsides in this area, but we'll get to those a little bit later on. It was a potential concern that this app could be clogged full of confusing information, but Vanguard have instead chosen to strip everything down to the basics and show you exactly what you want to see immediately. Other than your account overview, you'll have a help section that will answer any FAQs, along with some other helpful information about the app, and this is, again, straightforward and easy to understand for everyone. Then the third and last tab is your settings tab, and this is fairly self-explanatory. You can log out here and adjust any account settings that you see fit. If you're looking to just check your accounts quickly, it couldn't be simpler, but if you want to delve a little deeper into things, Vanguard have also covered that as well. Inside your account, you'll be able to see how much of your ISA allowance you have left underneath the initial performance graph, which might seem minor, but again, it's all about having the information you want clearly laid out and easily accessible. You can see a breakdown of your funds by what type of fund it is, for example, stocks or bonds, and these have their own performance metrics showing you their individual returns as well, along with a breakdown of how much your investment is in each. If you click onto the fund, you'll be met with all the information you'd get on the Vanguard website, except it's been optimized for mobile and is presented clearly. Here you'll be able to see the current fund price, the one-day change, and its yearly performance in a nice little graph. And if graphs aren't your thing, you can also see a breakdown of the fund's yearly performance in percentages if you want to make things a little simpler. Vanguard, being the reputable broker they are, also put in a lot of alerts to tell you about the risks of investments and to clarify that past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. And I think that's great, as it caters to the less experienced investors who might be using the app as their first foray into investing. And yes, this might be a legal compliance thing, but I like the way they do it nonetheless. On each fund that you've already invested in, you have the option to invest again, which allows you to quickly put more money into the fund if you want to. At the time of recording this video, you currently can't buy live price ETFs, so you have to go back to the web app to do this. But it does give you the option to buy at the next available price if you're happy to do so. There's a really helpful, short and concise information section about each fund that lists all the main info you'll need, with an option to see more as well. Vanguard's risk rating is also present here, which I think adds a lot to the value of their fund overview. If you click through to see more details, you'll find a nicely laid out infographic of all the important information you need, and you can alternate between the accumulative and distributing funds just by selecting them at the top. The further you scroll down, the more in depth you can go, but importantly, all the vital information is upfront and as clear as can be. I also really like the key fund facts section down here, as it highlights more key information about the fund, just to make sure that you're as well educated as possible before you start investing. The Vanguard app also allows you to make either a one-off investment or set up a recurring monthly payment, which is as simple as selecting a date and amount, choosing which funds or stocks you want to invest in, and then hitting confirm. On the app, you'll be able to manage your stocks and shares ISA, SIP, general account, and junior ISAs if you have them, giving you an easy way to quickly check your investments on the go without being swamped by an overload of information. Overall, this app seems to have a lot of potential, but there are some things that they need to iron out. The worries about it being confusing and not working smoothly seem to have been squashed, and you're getting all the valuable information that you would get on their website in a much more condensed and user-friendly way. Vanguard have done a very good job of making the app extremely user-friendly while still maintaining that level of depth that makes them such a reputable broker. The newer app-focused brokers like Trading212 have always stood out with their usability, and honestly, Vanguard's might not be too far behind, and this is still in early days, so it can improve a lot. There are some criticisms though, and they are all regarding user experience. When it comes to performance, the app can be a bit slow to load at times, and this is a bit annoying, though there aren't any extremely long delays within the footage we've got access to. And finally, to give subscriber Steven's feedback a platform, because he deserves it for being a legend, there isn't the option to change the app into dark mode. You see, Steven is a cultured man who enjoys browsing his apps without burning his retinas. It might seem small and insignificant to you, but for just, I don't know, one day of development, Vanguard could help Steven retain his eyesight for at least 10 more years. We can only hope that a dark mode is added in the immediate future. Hopefully these issues can be resolved by the time we get access to the app, but regardless, we'll do a full in-depth Vanguard app review when it's available for everyone to use.